In the final part of our series, we will examine 3 ways to overcome your cognitive biases. Let's dive in. 1. Recognize the bias. Our emotions are continually affecting our thought process below the level of our awareness, the most common of these emotions being the desire for pleasure and the avoidance of pain. By allowing these emotions to guide our thinking, we latch on to ideas that soothe our ego and release tension. This pleasure principle in our thinking is the cause of all cognitive biases. You must recognize this, and if you think you are somehow immune to cognitive biases, that is simply an example of the pleasure principle in action. What we've got to do is recognize their existence and watch to see how they continually operate inside of us. From there, we can begin to identify such irrationality in others and begin to see this as a reflection of ourselves. 2. Beware of the cause. Some of these emotions that affect our thinking are often brought about by something external. Let's look at trigger points from our early childhood as an example. We are most vulnerable in our early childhood. Our relationship with our parents and our environment has a greater impact on us the farther back in time we go. These vulnerabilities remain buried deep inside our mind, and sometimes we try to repress the memories of these influences. But later in life, a person or event will trigger a memory of these experiences, and with it comes a powerful release of chemicals, also known as emotions, that are associated with the memory. The great danger here is misreading the present moment and reacting to something that has happened to us in our past. We will create conflict and mistrust that only strengthens the wounds from the past. We will carry these wounds with us and project or overlay them into the present moment. This strips away our ability to have new, fresh experiences. But if we can detach ourselves in the middle of such an attack and contemplate the possible source, we begin to see how these memories from our past have locked us into these patterns of thinking. This is a massive step in the right direction, and if we can do this, we are much closer to limiting the control these biases have on our daily lives. 3. Explore your rational self. The final tactic we can use to overcome our cognitive biases involves the exploration of rational self. There are 3 strategies in particular we can use to do this. First, we must know ourselves thoroughly. We must commit to a realistic appraisal of ourselves and our weaknesses. The moment we become aware of how this irrationality operates inside of us is the moment it loses its control. We've got to catch our emotional self in action so we can explore that part of who we are. By doing this, we can learn to know and value what marks us as individually different and release those parts of us out into the world. If you are enjoying the video, consider subscribing to my channel. I upload every Sunday, and I could use your support. Secondly, we can increase our reaction time. Whether that means we type that angry text message but don't send it, or we step out of a heated argument to put together a more rational response. The longer we can resist reacting, the more mental space we have for actual reflection. This takes practice and repetition, but the reward of a more rational response is certainly worth the effort. Lastly, we've got to find the optimal balance of thinking and emotion. We can't separate the two as they are completely intertwined. The ancient Greeks used a beautiful metaphor to describe this relationship of thinking and feeling: the rider and the horse. The horse is our emotional nature. It has tremendous amounts of energy and power and is always compelling us to move forward. But the horse can't be guided without a rider. Without a rider, the horse is wild and untamed. Well, the rider is our thinking self. Through training and practice, the rider learns to hold the reins and guide the powerful horse in the direction it wants to go. Now, the once untamed horse can take the rider to places that the rider would have never been able to reach alone, and vice versa. One without the other is useless, but together they empower each other to do things they'd never thought of achieving alone. Just as the rider and the horse must work together, our thoughts and emotions must do the same. We must consider our actions beforehand, but once we've decided what to do, we've got to loosen the reins and allow the horse to take us where we've trained it to go. Drop a like if you enjoyed the Cognitive Bias series, and feel free to leave the video recommendations down below.